under ASMR, and this video is going to be another attempt at a whispered ramble. A few technical issues with the introduction to the channel video, which I may decide to redo at some point. Most of those were from my lack of experience of making these videos, and basically I forgot to turn off the background noise suppression on the microphone first time around, so I'm hoping that having the correct audio settings this time is going to take care of some of those issues where the whispering was silenced, presumably because my computer thought that it was background noise and decided to mute some of the whispering. Still, nonetheless, that's still my most watched video so far, which I thank you for. I would love it if some of you would go and check out the first in the series of the historical document videos, which I don't know, maybe it's because I am a history geek, but I would really like to see those get a little more traffic, and I think the Declaration of Independence video that I did is off to a slow start, but hopefully we'll pick up some momentum along the way. So tonight I'm just sort of winding down. It's pretty late as I'm filming this, but I have made myself a cup of tea. And this is tea from a company called Tea Absinthe, and I discovered them a number of years ago. I think we're looking at 3 years ago was the first time I found them, attending Dragon Con, and they make these teas based on different characters and different properties, and this particular tea I'm drinking tonight is called Allons-y, and it is tea based around the character of the 10th Doctor from Doctor Who. That's the one that was played by David Tennant, for those of you who might not be Whovians. And this is a banana and coconut tea, based on, I guess, things that he said in the show. Always bring a banana to a party, being one of them, which is probably where the banana idea came from. I also have 11th Doctor tea, which is called Geronimo, his catchphrase in the show, and that one is a little more subtle of a flavour. It's a black tea with a sort of cream custard taste to it. Not a very strong cream custard taste though, it's very much more tea than custard. And I think this banana coconut tea that I have here is actually the tastier of the two. If you're interested in the Tea Absinthe company, great people, and they have some really interesting products. I'll put their information down below in the description. This is coming to the end of what has been a pretty long week for me. I am trying to get a lot of stuff done at work, at my full-time job, and make sure that I meet my production numbers for the month. I have a target to meet, which I didn't meet last quarter. In the last 3 months of 2020, as in the last 3 months of any year, it's a little bit of a struggle because you lose quite a few days in December thanks to the holidays, and the attitude of people that I report to at work tends to be that things will even out over time and over different quarters. But the problem I've run into this quarter has been that I haven't actually before I have to report, and I have finished everything that I was supposed to do. I'm waiting for more stuff to come in, and I was assigned some of my co-workers tasks today to try and help me drive up my numbers. And of the 6 tasks I was given, it turned out that 5 of them were a bust. It's wrong information or no information to deal with, and they got shunted aside into our pile of things to look at later. That leaves me with just 1 out of 6, which hopefully will be enough to tie me over until my information comes in, if it comes in tomorrow. So I'm being deliberately vague about this because I don't want to get into too much about what I do, and there are certain legal issues with privacy that I have to deal with, so I apologise if I am a little on the vague side about what it is that I do and why I'm waiting for information. But anyway, that is kind of the stress that I'm working under right now, is wondering whether I'm actually going to be assigned enough work to make my totals, because I'm pretty sure from past experience that they are not going to take into account the fact that I wasn't assigned enough as an excuse for why I did not produce enough. Maybe I'm wrong. It's a bit of a transitional time, so maybe they'll have changed their mind. And I don't mean to sound complainy, because I actually really love my boss. She's pretty fair, but she's also reporting to people 3 or 4 levels above who don't necessarily understand the work that we do in our department and just care about their own numbers. So it's a management issue from way above where we are, and not actually with the people I work with, who I really enjoy. But enough about work. I am here to wind down after the day. We had some pretty nasty weather rolling through here tonight. In fact, there was, in the next town over from us, a tornado warning for the downtown. And I know that some of the people that were supposed to be coming across for my theatre group that took place tonight were from over that direction, so they were not able to come tonight, and I'm hoping that they are safe and doing well. I do not believe the tornadoes actually hit the downtown area. I'm sure that would have been big news around here. So we had to do our theatre group tonight with 2 people less than usual. We were doing some improv tonight, based around being kind of like scenes from a Hat, if you're familiar with whose line is it anyway, where we were each assigned 3 lines and then got together with a partner and created a scene out of these 6 total neutral lines, and the other people had to guess what it was that was going on in the scene. So it's an interesting experience. First of all, improv is not really one of my strengths. It's I have some experience from years and years of doing theatre, but I work much more comfortably with a script. And my partner for tonight's lesson is young enough to be my daughter, so that was kind of interesting as well, because it's a different kind of dynamic. Now, I've worked with kids before very frequently, but this is meeting number 2 of this group, so sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get into a comfort level, and especially I find with teenagers, understandably there's probably a little wariness of someone like me who's a little bit, a lot older than they are. So, a bit of teething problems. It is having to wear masks, and we're staying 6 feet apart, so there is no none of the original trappings. I guess what I'm trying to say is the traditional, that's the word I'm looking for, traditional. Yeah, there are none of the traditional trappings of theatre involved here. We're a bit more limited. Physical touch is kind of, well, if not off the table, then it has to be carefully planned, and that's, you know, something that's probably all for the good, especially when working with people that you're not too familiar with, because some people might not be comfortable with even just a light touch on the shoulder from someone that they're not familiar with. They've only met a couple of times. This is my office that you're seeing behind me. This is where I spend most of my time, day and night, and have done for the past year or so. Actually moved into this place on April 9th of last year, early April, right in the middle of the first lockdown. Yeah, so that was an interesting time. Pretty hard to get movers. A lot of uncertainty as to whether it was even going to be possible to finalise moving in here. But we decided to push through with it anyway, and I ended up doing a lot of the moving myself. Not really a fun time. There's a reason that we've decided years and years ago to always use movers, because we have far too much stuff that is good for us. And after six years in our previous house, we had accumulated a whole lot of junk. Lots of junk. Got rid of most of that now after a year in this place. This, my office here, I had to negotiate for this space, a space of my own, and there was some discussion about repainting this room, which I love the red colour of this room. It's coming up on the weekend. Do you guys have any plans for the weekend? I am mostly planning on speaking to my family over Zoom. A lot of my family are still back in Scotland, and I'm over here in the USA, so I do not get to see them as often as I would like to. I was supposed to last year go back for Christmas for the first time since I moved here, and unfortunately that had to be cancelled. And also my family, my sister and my niece and my nephew and my brother-in-law and my parents were supposed to be coming over for a big family trip to Disney World back in April, and that of course got cancelled. You know, it's been a tough year for everyone, and I am very lucky that the two big disappointments of the last year for me were both trips that didn't get to take place. Been very lucky that none of my family has gotten sick, and I have stayed well, and now I am vaccinated, and everyone of my loved ones that is eligible for the vaccination has been vaccinated. So maybe when some of the travel restrictions are lifted this year, I might at least get to go home for Christmas, hopefully a little earlier than that, if things get back to some level of normal in the summer. How are you guys? What's going on with with you. I'd love to see some comments down below and tell me how you're doing, how you're coping with the ongoing pandemic you find yourselves in, whether any of you are able to get out and do something a bit more social, if things are allowed in your area, if people are vaccinated, what steps have been taken to allow small gatherings like the one that I am able to do just once a week. So for now, I suppose I'm going to say goodnight to you all. I hope you're taking care of yourselves and taking care of your loved ones. And this has been Rob of Wonder ASMR.